Hello everybody, I'm here. And today we're going to be taking a look at the moth sightings that happened in 1966. And just a reminder, this one hurts. So if you're icily scared, then maybe skip this one. If not, then let's get into it. So in the year of 1966, the whole country was kind of freaking out because they were seeing these human-like creatures that had wings and they looked like moths. And some say these were demons, but others say it was something else. Some say it was a government experiment gone wrong. But no matter what, there is one thing that all of these people agree on, and that is they were very scary. Had a lot of people see these Mothmen before, but this time things were different. This time they were seeing it more frequently, and also it would interact with them. But first, where did this all start? Well, it started in a small town called Point Pleasant, which is in West Virginia. A man named John F. Keel wrote a book about these creatures, and he said that it all started on November 12, 1966, when two young girls were driving home from school. They were driving along the 874 highway near TNT, a small isolated community in rural Mason County, West Virginia. The two girls were driving when suddenly they saw something in the road that made them slam on their brakes. It was a large animal that was covered in gray, greasy hair, and it had wings. Both the girls agreed that whatever it was biped, meaning it walked on two legs. It didn't look like anything they had ever seen before. They described it as being the size of a man, having wings that stretched about 10 feet from tip to tip, and it was covered in coarse dark hair. Whatever it was, it stood around staring at them for a moment, before it turned and disappeared into the trees. Now, they told their parents what they had seen, but their parents just kind of blew it off as kids just being kids. But then more people started coming forward and telling similar stories. There were so many witnesses that it could no longer be ignored. And that's when the local newspaper picked up the story and published it. Within weeks, the town was a frenzy. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was trying to figure out what it was that they were seeing. And it wasn't just a big animal that was walking around on two legs. People were also seeing strange lights in the sky, lights that would move erratically, moving so fast that no aircraft could possibly hope to match. And it seemed like every sighting of the Mothman was followed by some type of disaster. And I mean disasters like train derailments, house explosions, and even deaths. People were starting to think that this was some type of demon or curse. Some people even claimed to hear voices coming from the creature, voices that sounded like this. I don't know about you, but if I heard this in the middle of the night, I would probably die of a heart attack right then and there. Now, obviously, the police were getting involved in this. They wanted to put an end to this nonsense. Sheriff L.G. Doak told the public to carry guns if they were going out at night because they would defend themselves against whatever it was that they were seeing. And while all of this was happening, a man named Roger Scarberry claimed that he saw the creature up close and personal. He said that he saw it standing on the bank of the Ohio River, and he got a good look at its face. He said that it had glowing red eyes that were huge. It also had no nose, and its mouth was filled with sharp teeth. Once again, it was described as having a coat of coarse dark hair all over its body, and its wings were gigantic. He said that the sight of the creature sent chills down his spine, and it was so scary that he ran home without even bothering to get his car. He said that he was 100% sure that it was a demon. And he also predicted that a major disaster was on its way. Now, many people thought he was crazy, but some people believed him, and those people were preparing for the worst. They were boarding up their windows. They were hiding food and water in their basements, basically just preparing for some type of apocalypse. Of course, they were carrying guns because who knows what this creature would do. Well, just a few days later, a man named Bill Rollison claimed to have seen the same creature. He said that he was driving along the river when he saw the creature perched on top of a railroad overpass. And once again, it had those glowing red eyes that stared directly at him. And if that wasn't bad enough, a few days later, the local Silver Bridge collapsed. This bridge connected Point Pleasant to Gallipoli, Ohio. And one minute it was there, and the next minute it was gone. It collapsed without warning, killing 46 people. And everyone was blaming the Mothman. They thought that this was the disaster that the creature had predicted. People were still seeing the creature even after the bridge collapsed. They thought that maybe it was the cause of the bridge collapsing, but they soon learned that that was not the case. An engineering study determined that the bridge simply wasn't maintained properly. That was why it collapsed, not because of some type of demon. But people were still seeing the creature and hearing those strange voices, and nobody knew what to do about it. And then finally, on December, it ended. After 3 months of terror, the Mothman was gone. The sightings stopped, and the voices in the night were silent. But to this day, people still wonder what it was that they were seeing. So now let's take a look at some of the theories surrounding this case. Was it a demon? Was it an experiment gone wrong? Or was it just some type of big animal? Well, according to some, the Mothman is actually a harbinger of doom. Basically, they're saying that every time the Mothman appears, it means that a great disaster is coming. And it has appeared several times throughout history. It's not just in 1966. Some people believe that the reason we didn't see it for so long is because we've been so technologically advanced and we haven't done anything to upset nature. But now that we've developed things like nuclear weapons, the Mothman is appearing more often than ever because it doesn't like what humans are doing to the world. Another theory is that it was some type of government experiment gone wrong. Maybe they were trying to create some type of new aircraft, and this was the result. Who knows? But whatever it was, it got out and was terrifying people. Now this theory has a little bit of evidence to back it up. One witness claimed to see military trucks speeding away from the area whenever the Mothman appeared. So maybe the government was trying to cover up whatever it was that they created. And then, of course, we have the most logical explanation, which is that it was just some type of big animal. There have been many cases of large winged creatures that have been reported throughout history. I'm sure that this is the same thing. Maybe it was a giant owl, or maybe it was some type of bat. Either way, there is probably a perfectly reasonable explanation for this, but we just haven't found it yet. Whatever the case may be, this is definitely a scary story that will stick with me for a while. Those glowing red eyes and that horrible screeching sound that it makes is just something that I can't get out of my head.
Oh.
How about you guys? What do you think happened in Point Pleasant in 1966? Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time.